look at that! Sweet wither action! Hello everybody, it's Basilisk here, and welcome back to Infinite Skies. This is my FTB Infinity Skyblock series, and today I'm going to do something that I think is going to be really interesting. We are going to get on to setting up an automated wither killing system. Fully automated end-to-end. So, last time I set up a wither skeleton farm, and we've been farming the wither skulls over there. So, how many have we got? So far, 3,200. That's an awful lot of wither skulls. It has depleted the sword that it was using, the cleaver that's got beheading on it. It's depleted that once, and I repaired it and put that back. It got to about 3,000 before it depleted that. The other thing that has changed here is that we've almost got no tiny piles of plutonium left. And the reason for that is I have switched one of my reactors, which are over there. I've switched one of those to MOX fuel instead of a uranium fuel. So, if we have a look at MOX, so to do this, I've gone with the quad still, exactly the same as the uranium. They put out the same amount of heat, so you can just put them in place with the normal uranium ones. They can put out a lot more power though, but to do that you've got to run your reactor hot, and that can be dangerous. So I've decided not to worry about that particular benefit and just keep it at the 360 RF per tick that we're getting out of that. So to make these, we needed 4 of these and MOX fuel, which uses plutonium. Lots of tiny piles of plutonium involved in that. So it very quickly just depleted my entire stash of, I think I was up to about 1,600 or so tiny piles of plutonium. That's all gone. Now the benefits of using the MOX fuel is that it removes some of our reliance on these tiny piles of uranium, which I got very low on, especially as I was running without doing my sand processing for a while. And it also processes through 2 cycles in the same time as the other one processes through 1 cycle. So it costs a lot of plutonium though, doesn't it? However, when you actually process these depleted ones, you get back all of the plutonium that you put in, plus some extra plutonium. So it actually works out to be a lot better. So yes, they work out to be better in the long run once you can afford to actually make them. But anyway, let's get on to this episode and what we're doing. The way I'm going to do this wither killer, the killing mechanism is actually something that I've seen Xogues do, and he's just recently done it on his Infinity Skyblock series, which I'll put a link to down in the description. But he uses the RF Tools shields to do the killing. We don't have available to us at the moment some of the better killing methods, like the Draconic Evolution Grinder, which is, I think, the best way of killing withers. But we do have the ability to create this. So let's make some of the shields. I need some glass. So I was going to go with, I think, half a stack of the recipes will actually work for me. That should be plenty. I've been harvesting a whole lot of wool. I've bred up the sheep that I've got upstairs a lot of times, and managed to, yep, that should do us 4 stacks. managed to gather a whole lot of wool out of them. So let's just dump off these extra wools. We are also going to need the shield projector. So this one takes a RF Tools machine frame, which is actually very expensive because it takes the resonant machine frame from thermal expansion. Well, I happen to have a couple of those in my system at the moment, I think. 2 of them. I've made a couple of those over the last while, just whenever I'm got a bit of spare energy and time. So we can easily make one of these. Stone, done. Get the ingredients for that. So there we go, we've got a machine frame. I also made a tesseract. We'll be needing that. We'll be needing some of these logistics pipes things as well. And a vibrant capacitor. I've been making up some resonant solar panels, just also when I've got time and so on and not using the energy. We can just set one of those to autocraft, no problems at all. Well, a few problems. Sometimes logistics pipes gets a little bit stuffed up with it, so sometimes I need to actually get in there and manually fix it up. Okay, do I have all the stuff for this? Yes, I do. There we go. A shield projector. We need to finish off this tesseract, so I'll just quickly get that done and I'll meet you over where we're going to set this up. So here we are at the new location for the wither killing system. This is just next to where the wither skeletons are, just there. And hopefully I don't have any problems with withers getting out of this, because, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that could go wrong with that. So what we have to do here is that we need to lay down these shield template blocks, like this. We're making a cage here for the wither to go in. So putting all of these here. Then we'll make a cage all the way around, and I'm doing a 7x7 outer area, or 7x7x7, and it's 5x5x5 internally. Okay, so now we've got a full cage around where the wither's going to go. So, how do these RF shields work? Well, you need to have, attached to one of the shield blocks, you need to have this shield projector. So we'll put that down there. Now this requires power. So what I'm going to do is, for now, I'll take that block out. We're going to put a vibrant capacitor bank below it. And that we're going to set the top of to be output, which it's done automatically for me, so that's awesome. And let's just put that on that side, say, because I'm then going to connect up our tesseract here, which is going to be enabled all the time. Receive only on energy, select power, there we go. So now the vibrant capacitor bank here is gaining power. That will hold a lot of power, which means that we should have a good buffer of power for this to do its thing. So then we get options, what we can set this up like. So if so redstone's ignored, okay. Shield set. So if you whack it with a crescent hammer, it does its thing, and by default it doesn't actually seem to do much. So let's whack that again, and we can set rules for what these blocks do. So the rules that I'm going to do is I'm going to say that player can pass through. I'm going to add that as a rule. So players can pass through. I'm going to say that items, where is that? Items can pass through as well. I'm going to have the items drop out through the bottom and be collected by a vacuum hopper. But then we're going to say that it is solid and does damage to hostile mobs. And Xogues said to make sure you get that one right, because if you just have damage, then he's going to get out. If it's just solid, then, well, you've got to go and fight him yourself, which can be a bit of a pain. So that should now do its thing. Default shield texture, color. Let's go for... yeah, let's go orange. Okay, so now we can turn this on. I can still walk through, but, and here's the part that I've got to be hopeful actually works properly, is that the wither can stay in there. I have tested this, so I am kind of hoping that it works exactly the same as when I tested it. Otherwise it could be very, very bad. Now, the next thing is, that's all well and good, but I can go in there and place blocks, so I can build a wither in here. But that is actually not what I want to do. I want it to be fully automated. So what are we going to do that? Well, I need to be able to... I can't put something in there to spawn the wither, because if I've got something inside there and the wither does this explosion thing, then the machine will get wrecked. So I have to put the machine for spawning him out here, and then get him into there. Now this is a little trick that I actually saw Soren do, and I thought when I saw Xogue do this method for killing the wither and thought about what Soren had done, I thought that this was absolutely perfect. So what we're going to need is a plate. There is this, where is it? Translocation plate. This is the one that we want, and it's actually not very hard to make. So I need one of these plate frames. Not going to have a problem there. And then I need to fill it up with liquid ender or enderium, isn't it? Resonant ender. Okay, so I'm going to go make that up, fill it up, and show you how that one works. There we go, translocation plate. That takes 1,000 millibuckets of resonant ender, or 4 ender pearls to do. Now what we want to get is 3 wither skulls. Let's just test it with 1 wither to begin with. 3 wither skulls, and we need some soul sand. It's always strange when you've got more wither skulls than soul sand. I'm going to be placing the translocation plate on this block here. So let's put a better block there. Something like that. I'll put down the plate and... no, this... wait a second. Okay, I can take it off with the crescent hammer. That's good. You have to right click it onto the part of the block that you want it to go towards that direction. And I want to make sure this machine's on before I do this. So I should now, if I go on here, whoop, off the edge I go. Good, I tested that. Okay, we need something else to be able to set this, and I've forgotten all about that. We need the multimeter, this one here, the thermal expansion multimeter. So that's not too hard to make. I'll just whip that up and be right back. Okay, here we go. And I'm so glad I both tested this on myself first before putting a wither up here, and have a jetpack, because otherwise that would have also been deadly going straight off the edge. Okay, so right no, shift right click on that. We need to set the range for where it's going to teleport. So we want it to go to the middle of here. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I'm not 100% sure if it counts the blocks at either end, so it's one of the reasons for testing. 7. So now if I go on here, I will fall in and it will be slightly too far this way. So I just want to go 6 instead of 7. 6. And now let's see. That looks smack bang in the middle. Okay, that's good. Let's double check our setup on this shield projector. So we've got hostiles. It's solid and it does damage. We have plenty of power and it's probably not even going to go down. So, shall we build the wither? 1, 2, 3. That's going the right way. So, because the wither changes into an entity when you spawn him and then drops straight down until he does his explodey thing, he's going to come down, land on this translocation plate and get sent straight into there. Or so the theory goes. And he goes. This should not blow anything up. And he can't shoot out of there. And if you see his bar at the top, I'm going to move back a bit because that's awfully loud for me. If you see his bar at the top, that is going down. Okay, I had to reduce the sound level there because that was just being way too loud. There we go. He's about to die. And all the items should fall down here. We have a heart and a nether star. Wow, that's pretty cool. Okay, next things we need to do. We need to have a vacuum hopper to collect the items, and we need to make it so that we can automate the creation of the wither. How are we going to do that? Block places. So I'm going to go grab some block places and... Oh, we've got another thing over here too. This is the... Oh, this thing. The rare shader grab bag from Immersive Engineering. Yeah, so I'll go grab some stuff and be right back to do the next part of our system here. Okay, I'm back and I think I have got everything. There is a lot to what I'm about to try and build here, so hopefully I've got it all. I'll try to make it as easy to follow as possible, but first things first, let's place out not that. Let's place out where the block places are going to be. So we want them to go like so, and I've got the block places. I'm using the open blocks block placer for this, and the recipe for that's pretty simple. So let's put those up here in the shape of a wither. There we go. Now we don't need any of this now. Okay, so for now I will take 3 wither skulls and 4 pieces of soul sand. Now we have all the stuff for a wither there. We want to now take some... Oh yes, I need to put the vacuum hopper down. We need to now connect up our pipes. So, not basic logistics. We need the logistic chassis on the back of each of these, because these will be actively supplying these block places with the soul sand and with the wither skulls. Okay, so that's all good so far. We need to connect that back to our main system. I'll just connect that back to the system and be right back. Okay, that's now connected up. Next step is we need to put a redstone signal onto these to place out those blocks. While I'm doing this, I'm going to make sure that I have this turned on just in case something goes and creates a wither. That would not be fun. Okay, to do the redstone signal, I'm going to use some of these Buildcraft logic gates. So one of these goes onto each of these, like so. No, not like that. I need blocks. Yep, shift right click to take them off and right click to place them on. Now, if I right click on there, I can say if I get... Yes, this one I'm going to use to... Oh, I can't do that. I need to get my red wires. Okay. These gates I'm going to use to say whether there are items in here or not. So let's place some of this red wire down in here. I hope I've got all the spots. So we can say red pipe signal. We're going to output a red pipe signal if there are no items in here. Inventory empty. Now, I'm also going to use these iron ones up here, and that's because we need 2 signals. So, put this one on top, and these 2 can go on this side, there and there. We can go to that one there, but we need to get to this one. You can put it in there, and that's not going to be a problem because that is still connected up around the outside. So, these ones are going to go on the blue wire. Hopefully this is going to make sense once I've done it all, because is slightly confusing. Okay, there we go. We've got those ones on the blue wire, and these ones are going to say when there is a signal on the blue wire on, then emit a redstone signal like that. Okay, so to test whether what we've done so far works, let's get another one of these ones, the iron one, so we can access the blue wire, and then we should say if there is a redstone signal, then output on the blue wire, which should then place all of these, putting the wither down to there and firing them off inside there. This is still set up okay. Good. all we need to do that is say a lever, put that down there. Okay, something's not quite right. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so I'm not 100% sure why the kind of arrangement I had before worked in my test world and why it didn't work here. But I think I have a way of fixing it, which is to add yet another colour of wires here. So now we've got a green wire as well, and I had to switch these ones at the top to golden AND gates so that they can actually access the green wire, and then have a slight delay on the placing of the top blocks, and that should work. Yes, okay. So that works. Okay, so I went ahead and finished this all up, and now I'll take you through how the system works. So we've got all of the block places here, and the top row is for the wither skulls and the other ones are for the soul sand. We have 3 channels coming through here on these wires. There's a red channel, a green channel, and a blue channel. The red channel is used by these basic gates to tell the system when there are no blocks inside here. The green and blue channels are used to trigger a redstone signal to the block places to place out the sand and the skulls. I had to use the 2 channels because the top ones were getting placed at the wrong time. So they're on a 1 tick delay from the bottom ones now. So if I go down underneath, let's just make a hole. I just need to make sure I don't make it somewhere where there's something there. Okay. And we have all of this down here. Now, let me take you through it in a little bit of detail, I guess. Here we have a timer, and that's what triggers the block places to place their blocks. However, it is also dependent on a couple of other things. That can be, if we have a signal coming in here, which is controlled by that lever, then it turns everything off. It stops this timer from running. Other ways that this system doesn't run is we have a power monitor here which is hooked up to our vibrant capacitor bank, and that is set up with engine control enabled to emit a signal when storage is less than 50% and to stop emitting the signal again when it goes greater than 60%. So if we ever drop below 50% of the power, then the whole system is going to turn off. I did that because I want to make sure that there's enough power here to kill whatever withers are inside there, to make sure that they don't get loose. So on here on the logistics chassis, I just put a simple extractor pipe, so that will be taking everything and firing it up to our system. Now, yeah, so everything is gone so far. Now, these 2 gates here, the red one is set up to, on a redstone signal, fire off the green pipe, and the iron one is on a redstone signal to fire the blue pipe. So this is the 1 tick delay I was talking about just before. The blue one places all of the soul sand, and the green one places all of the wither skulls, and then that creates a wither. So this power, back to power, this power redstone signal comes to a NOT gate, so that feeds up here to this AND gate, which the AND gate just basically says these 3 inputs have to be on in order for it to send a signal out this way. So if we run out of power, this line will turn off and this will no longer be able to send out a signal over here. The other way that it can be stopped is that there is this one here, which is on the red pipe signal, which, if you recall, tells us if there are no items inside those block places. And so if there are no items in the block places, this emits a signal and will invert this NOT gate, which at the moment it's not sending a signal, so the NOT gate says no signal in, I'll put a signal out. If we get a signal, it won't put a signal out, and we'll get no signal coming out through the AND gate. So that way the system should be fully safe. Now, if we switch this, you'll see the timer is now running. And if we come up here, it's set to 50 seconds at the moment, which I've figured out is about the right time for it to be able to fire the wither in there, kill the one in there, and then spawn a new one after the old one's killed. We are going to try running it a bit faster though. We'll try that after a single wither. There you go, the wither spawned. Oh, we got extra blocks. Interesting. Stand back. His explosion still does actually hurt me, but I'll get rid of these. I don't know why those appeared. That one's dead. New one spawned. Okay. Slight problem going on. I wasn't getting that last time I was running this. Okay, I think I figured out what the problem was with the extra placing blocks. We actually don't need that green channel at all, the green wire, and we don't need this one down here to emit a signal. And the reason for that is that the redstone signal that gets passed from to these middle rows actually also signals the top and bottom rows. So we just have to fire off those ones. So that worked well. No extra blocks. And it's going to make things a little bit simpler. Perfect. Let's change our timer. How about 10 seconds? Okay, we've got 2 withers in there. Three. Still seems to be handling it okay. 4. I was curious what our power usage would be. Okay, so this is saying we're having no problem. Whoa, look at that! Sweet wither action! Well, that guy looks like he's glitching out. Anyway, I'm gonna turn that off. There we go. So, that is my auto wither spawning and killing system. I think it works pretty well, actually. We had no problems at all with keeping up with the power. We have safety guards in place for that anyway. We can run multiple withers at a time. and we get lots of drops. Now, one of the drops that I haven't got so far is actually a division sigil, and I wonder whether that's because I have to kill one myself for that. So I'm going to probably have to do something about that. Probably just take a swipe at one while he's in there. But yes, at the moment we are up to 34 nether stars. I don't think... Yep, no division sigils. So, until next time, thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the little wither killer thing I've got down there. My wither factory, as you were. But yes, anyway, next time I think we should try and work towards our AE start. We are going to need to get lots of iridium. And you can get iridium through plutonium and through the assembly table and so on, but there are other ways of getting iridium once you have the first iridium. And that's what we're going to start working towards next time. So, until then, thank you for watching. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you again later. Bye!